right, welcome to the Retro Game Club podcast, Season 3, Episode 21, which is also Episode 93. I am Rob, and with me is someone who has been in a chemical fire tornado this week, Hugh.
That's right, yeah. Illinois is really getting hit hard, man. This is crazy. Actually, I'm fine. Neither of those events were very close to me.
Yeah, so last night you had a tornado, right? And then...
Yeah, but it was in Naperville. Now, Naperville is a pretty big town, but I don't live anywhere near it. And as far as I can tell, no one was really hurt. I think there was some property damage. I did not hear stories of anyone being killed, luckily. I mean, I guess I'm maybe like 20 or 30 miles from Naperville, but it's like an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
I just never go there.
Yeah.
Because it's, the way Chicago is, like, if I wanted to take a train to Naperville, that's like 3 hours. Because, the suburbs aren't connected by trains. The trains all run to and from the city. So for me to take a train to Naperville, I would take one train into the city and then another one back out.
Yeah.
I've been to Naperville a few times, but there's not a lot of reason for me to go out there, I guess. No, but it was 2015. There actually was a tornado that went through my neighborhood.
Yikes.
Yeah. It was a category 1 or Sev 1. Is it category or severity? Which one is it?
I think it's category.
Category. Okay, so it was the lowest one, but it was a confirmed category 1. And I guess a category 1 tornado is not much worse than just a bad hailstorm. Like, a couple people in my neighborhood lost a tree or some of their fence. I believe there was a trampoline on a utility pole at the end of it.
Yeah, it happens.
The great thing is the tornado sirens went off after it was already over. I had already, just based on the color of the sky, we'd already started getting everybody into the basement.
Yeah, it turns like that green, purple, weird, unnatural color.
Yeah, when you get the green sky, you get everyone in the basement. So people outside of the Midwest or the Plain States have never experienced this, I suppose. Then, the tornado sirens are they tell you, some local station you're supposed to turn on for, emergency updates. But you turn it on and it's just, horrible FM DJs talking about Taylor Swift. It's like...
Yeah, sounds about right.
Just useless. Yeah, just useless. Yeah. So that's about it for...
yeah, what have you been up to, actually up to?
Yeah, this is a great intro. So E3. So I caught up on those presentations in the evening last week. I ended up managing to pre-order the Zelda Game & Watch. I really thought that would be sold directly to scalpers. But I managed to pre-order one. I don't need it at all. But I like the concept a lot. I thought the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer looked pretty good. I guess you can pre-order it on Amazon with no title or no box. So I pre-ordered it. But
or no date.
I actually pre-ordered it. And no date, yeah. It said it'll ship January 3rd, 2023 is what it told me.
Okay, there you go.
But I pre-ordered that. That was $60 or whatever. Who cares? Let's see. Limited run games. I put a note there because that's probably what our listeners care about. I didn't see anything I was really excited about. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny that somehow they got the rights to Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, or for some reason they thought it was a good idea to get the rights to Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I guess they're gonna do the PC Engine version, like a PC Engine CD version of Dracula X, which is on the TurboGrafx Mini. So I'm sort of like, I don't really need that. Everything I saw at E3. The other thing that I'm gonna pre-order is the Monkey Ball collection, which we just talked about.
Nice.
Yeah,
I thought limited run games was the best part of that. I really didn't think there was a reason for E3 this year. I think it was kind of a money grab. The Amico thing was kind of as I expected it to be. And I kind of think limited run games won E3. I don't even know if they're an official part of it, but I'll probably grab that Rondo of Blood release just because it's always something I wish I could have owned back then, so why not now?
Yeah, I still have a functional Turbo Duo, so that's not a problem. I can play it. It's just I have it. It's literally on the TurboGrafx Mini Classic or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I have it on the Wii Virtual Console, too. So I don't really know if I need a third copy of that game. Is it on the Castlevania collection that I pre-ordered and forgot that I pre-ordered?
I don't think so. I don't think that is.
I'm going to look it up, because if it's on there too, then there's very few games that I will buy 4 copies of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is not one of them.
Only Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair, oh yeah, I have, hold on, looking at my Dragon, I have a small shelf in the corner here of just Dragon's Lair. Yeah, I got about 5 copies of it, 5 different versions, maybe 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I don't know why I collect that one. I'm not even particularly good. I've won the game, like I have actually finished Dragon's Lair. But if I try and play it now, I don't think I can get through 3 rooms.
Yeah, it is not easy.
Yeah. And then, I fell into a rabbit hole last week on the topic of analog TV stations that still work.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a YouTube channel called like The Antenna Guy, and he is exactly the stereotype of a guy that is really into antenna stuff. Like, I don't know if you know any of these people in real life. I know some.
Oh, yeah.
But he is like just cookie cutter antenna guy. And his channel is kind of entertaining. I mean, it's super technical, but he did a thing about analog stations that still operate. And then he did did you watch these videos?
No, not yet. No, I'm definitely going to, because I am an antenna guy.
Okay. Well, they're hilarious. I mean, it's basically him driving through upstate New York and staying at really sketchy hotels so he can watch analog TV.
That's hilarious. Yeah. What a hobby.
He must not have kids. Yeah.
Yes.
But the short version is, just to recap his videos, is I guess your Game Gear or Turbo Express tuner is still not officially obsolete. The new deadline for analog TV to shut down is July 11th, 2021. This is like 19 years or something past the date it was supposed to shut down. Wait, is it 9 or 19? I don't know.
I think it stopped in like 2006, 2008, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's over, let's just say more than 10 years past the original deadline. But there's just a small group of kind of mismatched operators that managed to keep getting the FCC to push the date back.
Wow.
And it's only like 1 or 2. I think it's all channel 6 is the only thing. It's like maybe 6 is the only channel that works still. Again, I'm not an antenna guy, so I don't understand all the logistics here.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked again at what was available in Chicago, and it seems like there's still 2 low power antenna stations. One is, again, it's just general Polish language station, it seems. So mix of programming there. And there's a Me TV station.
Okay, I like Me TV.
Which in the video is one of these YouTube videos is one of the stations he picks up. And then there's no analog home shopping station, so either that's gone or I misremembered it. But yeah, I think it's just the case of like there are people who just like I have this old TV, I've had it since the 90s. I was 70 or something in the 90s, and I just have that dial on channel 6 or whatever, and it just has always worked.
Yeah, well, July is gonna be a sad month for them then.
Yeah. I mean, they made it through COVID, and now. Well, I guess they can leave the house now. So there you go. They don't. Maybe it's good because now they can. If they were leaving the house, I guess they can now. So that's about it for me. What have you been up to?
Oh, geez. A lot of riding my bike, getting outside actually, and I beat the new Ratchet and Clank game on PS5. I'd rank it really high. Not a perfect game. But very impressive and pretty fun and not too difficult and not too long. All the things I like.
Okay. So are you completely through your PS5 backlog then?
No, I actually have quite a few games now. Okay, and PS4 games that I'll be playing on it. But PS5 does actually do an interesting thing where you can hook up a USB-C drive on the back of it. And since there are so many PS4 games, you could... Actually, there's an option in the operating system that says install PS4 games only here. So you could leave your internal drive just for PS5 and the rest for PS4. So I have a lot of PS4 games to catch up on.
So so you would put like a Western Digital drive USB, or a mini, do they have USB-C mini discs now?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, I've never looked for one.
I got a SATA M.2. I got a SATA M.2 drive that I hooked up to it just because I still wanted it to be fast and everything. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that I do actually own a USB-C memory stick because
they definitely exist.
I bought a double ender that's like C on one side, B on the other. It's just to transfer stuff to and from my phone.
Oh, nice. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, because it's such a hassle. Like, if you run Linux and you plug your phone into Linux, like, you don't have drivers. Like, you can't just copy stuff over to your phone. So yeah, the USB stick is the best way to do it.
That is a good idea. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but no, not much.
Like 13 minutes without talking about retro games.
Hey, I think we mentioned Rano of Blood or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, let's mention some retro stuff. How Roberta Williams transformed the adventure game niche into a beloved genre.
Yeah.
So, this article, gamedesigning.org. I don't think we've ever been here, but it's just kind of a quick history of Roberta Williams, which if you're listening to this podcast, you kind of probably know that she wrote most of the famous Sierra Online games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the site seems like it's mostly there to try and sell you like their books or courses, but they do seem to have some actual decent articles hidden in there too. Yeah, I mean, the thing that Roberta Williams did was this crazy idea of adding graphics to these text adventure games. Like, it's sort of silly, but, you know, games were purely just text, and then they did Ghost House.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I could prove that Ghost House was the first text adventure with graphics, but I think it's the first one that anybody played.
Yeah, and she had a husband that said, sure, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a programmer, and she was, you know, a designer and an artist, and it was a good tandem they had.
Yeah. Something that I don't think will ever be repeated again.
Oh, I suppose not. Yeah, I was trying to think of other famous game couples, but I can't now.
Didn't John Romero work with his wife on a few things? I feel like
his wife is a game developer, but I can't recall if they worked together.
Okay.
She worked on like a lot of the Wizardry games.
Okay.
A completely different genre than what he did.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I can't think of any other couples.
Yeah. The Ultima guy. Nope. There's something there too. I don't think his wife was a game designer. I think she was successful in some other field. And I'm just getting mixed up.
Let's see. What do we got next? On Collider, classic GoldenEye 007 N64 game has been recreated in Far Cry 5, giving us HD remake that we've always wanted. So
it still looks pretty blocky.
Yeah. And that was a very long title I mean, there's no reason to explain it after that. That's what they did. Apparently, Far Cry 5 has a level creator, and that's how they made this.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so you could see videos and stuff of it. Not sure if I gotten a takedown letter yet.
Oh wait, I'm looking at the before pictures. I got to scroll down to the after pictures. I didn't scroll far enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. Not bad. Definitely better. What else do we have in news here?
Adding a laser blaster to classic Atari 2600 games with machine vision.
This seemed like a lot more work and effort than it was worth. So apparently, you can add a zapper to a 2600, but I think it requires like an Arduino with an NVIDIA thing that it actually looks at the screen and looks for the laser and coordinates XY coordinates and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's using it with Atlantis on here.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely Atlantis, yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool project. I actually like this one.
Yeah. A lot of effort in that one. It's not like you just plug it into a 2600.
So neither of us are big fans of the arcade 1-up and cabinets, it seems. But it looks like there are a few more. Well, I don't like them because of the size. You don't like them because of the game selection. Is that how it goes?
No, it's not so much the game selection. I really have nothing against them.
Okay.
It's just that we talk about them so much.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
But so now there is a Street Fighter II Championship Edition, a Miss Pac-Man / Galaga edition, and a Turtles in Time edition.
I thought they had done a Street Fighter one before. Is this a different Street Fighter one?
I think it's a different one. Yeah.
Okay.
And
these are all the. So that's the Genesis version inside of an arcade cabinet. In Turtles in Time, of course, is a Super Nintendo game.
Turtles in Time was also in the arcade.
Oh, it was in the arcade. Okay,
Yeah.
I never saw it in the arcade, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a very, very expensive cabinet now. But the reason I don't like these, or some of them, is the same reason you don't, is because if it's a multiplayer game, I mean, you are right on top of each other. I mean, unless you're like a Siamese twin or something, it's going to be rough to play. And so I like the stuff like the Miss Pac-Man Galaga when it's a single player. You're not going to have someone just like right up against you. But
in the picture, they have a dude who's at least 5'10" playing it, and he's like hunched over.
always,
like,
yes.
Systems. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he looks very uncomfortable. So they do make a few sit-down ones of these that it'd be cool to try. Like the Star Wars arcade one has a sit-down version where you can move the seat back and forth to accommodate.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one I'd be interested in. Like that seems kind of cool. I don't really like Star Wars arcade enough that that's the one I would pick. But if they did if somehow they amassed like Pole Position and Outrun and a couple other good racing games, that would be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be cool. They also have a virtual pinball cabinet that's like a 3/4 size pinball machine. The cool thing about that is you can open it up, pull the insides out, and put a computer in there. And just pretty much with USB and HDMI, you can use that as your virtual pinball cabinet and make it what you want it to be. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I really hope these guys do a Tron cabinet. That's all I really want.
Yeah, but don't you need... Did Tron have multiple controllers? Something I can't talk. Didn't Tron have like a spinner and the big like a throttle stick?
Exactly, yeah, with the trigger on it. Yeah, that's why I think it'll be perfect. It's single player. It's hard to replicate in MAME because of that spinner. So
we have not done Tron yet, have we?
We did Deadly Discs or Discs of Tron.
Discs of Tron, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do actual Tron arcade sometime.
Absolutely.
Let's see. When I added, so over on romhacking.net, there is a very, very long running project to do bug fixes and translation fixes for Dragon Quest I and II. And they apparently have been working on this off and on for 20 years.
That's great.
Clearly not their full-time job, but that's a lot of dedication.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And it is now done. And I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
I think it's actually easier to read too.
You feel like the font is bigger?
Yeah, it looks bigger to me. Am I imagining that?
I can't remember how it used to look.
But anyhow, yeah, they it's a very, very long list. And they basically did a retranslation. They decompiled parts of it, recompiled, rewrote the assembly to fix various bugs. I mean, there's like a dozen bullet points here. Yeah. But some of it are just like things that just freeze. Like there are apparently parts of the game that will just freeze.
Literally game-breaking bugs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool. And another bug fix here, King's Quest I Redux. So this fixes a lot, I think, this is the IBM version. Mm-hmm. This fixes just a lot of small bugs and also adds a lot of quality of life features. And it's funny. It says one of the features is be able to look anywhere. And I can't remember. I've played King's Quest 1 so much. I'm trying to figure out what they're referencing. Like, if you look at some spots, does it just not do something? I can't.
Yeah, like there's nothing there.
There's got to,
yeah. Like you can look at the grass and it says, "Hey, this is grass."
Or it just doesn't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. But then there's also a duck mode, which I'm not too sure what that is, other than you look like a duck when you're in that mode.
I think that's the big one. There's apparently a gnome with some riddles, and you can now use the solutions from other versions, other ports of King's Quest 1 in there too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it says additional silly messages when looking at various rooms and objects.
Huh.
So I'm thinking they just made look work anywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah. What else? Oh, this next one got a takedown letter since we posted it in our notes. Doom now runs on an IKEA smart light bulb. So why would IKEA, like, id isn't doing this because Doom runs on anything. So IKEA gave them a takedown letter?
It must have been IKEA.
I mean, what do they have to gain? I mean, I guess they don't want people to blow up their light bulbs and get sued, maybe?
Yeah, there's a Reddit thread that explains it. I don't know. It must be IKEA. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, so this is a smart light bulb that, can change LED colors and stuff like that. And it has a small processor and 108K of memory. Yeah. And obviously it doesn't have any controls, so they hook up, some kind of device to it. And they're using the CPU and the memory from the IKEA light bulb. And they just, had to hook up this display and kind of USB connector. Yeah, so pretty interesting.
IKEA. Now, if I type IKEA DMCA, will I find out about their DMCA takedowns, or is DMCA going to be the name of a product at IKEA?
Or a Beastie Boys song?
Interesting. So these articles are more, the first things that came up were articles about IKEA being sued for infringing copyrights on some of their products.
Okay.
IKEA found guilty of spying on workers.
That tracks.
IKEAhackers.net. So there was a site once called IKEAhackers.net that I guess got a takedown letter from IKEA.
Okay. But no game hacking.
Yeah. But seems like they maybe will try and shut down people who post how to hack their products.
I mean, okay, I guess. What else? On let's see, what do we have here? Luigi's Mansion is now Mario's Mansion thanks to this ROM hack. So that's exactly what it is. It swaps out Mario, it swaps out Luigi for Mario, and it even swaps out his voice samples. So if you needed that in your life, if you just hate Luigi for some reason, there you go.
Yeah. This seems like one we did 2 weeks ago. Or is this different?
I think it's the same except a different Zelda game. So this will probably be the last time we report on one of these.
Well, because he's going to do Skyward Sword next. So this is Artist Reimagines Wind Waker as a turn-based RPG.
And that's why we're going to skip over these in the future. Like, this is cool. I'm glad artists are doing this stuff, but it's not an actual game or a hack. It's more of a video or a picture.
It's just some art, yeah. It's nice artwork, but yeah, it's not a real project. NES in a cartridge. So I've seen other variations of this before. Like I've seen a couple other projects. I've not seen this particular one though. This is a different. So what are they doing here?
So So our viewers, so our listeners can know what we're looking at. This is a Mario Brothers NES cartridge with a power button and 2 NES controller inputs and the cartridge input pins, I guess you could call it. And yeah, this is, like you just said, a whole NES in a cartridge. And it looks funny when you put a cartridge into a cartridge. But so they use something called an NOAC, which is a Nintendo on a chip.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what's in... If you go to the mall, you ever see those kiosks that's selling bootleg Nintendos?
Yeah, or on Alibaba or whatever.
Or yeah. Or like these little handheld things you get at Bed Bath & Beyond, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is essentially like if you get the Nintendo game on a joystick, like I have the, what do I have? Oh, WrestleMania Steel Cage.
Mm-hmm.
It's the NES game. It's actually so weird. It's a ROM hack of the NES game. Because for whatever reason, they replaced the Mountie with a different wrestler.
Huh. It must have been some kind of licensing thing.
Yeah, I don't know if like Jacques Rougeau owned his character. Usually the wrestlers in WWF do not own their own characters.
Yeah.
Maybe someone thought it was insensitive to Canadians. I have no idea.
Or he moved to a different league that bought the rights to that character or something?
No. He was like, his brother was an announcer. His brother was the French announcer for WWE for a long time. They, as far as I know, left on good terms. So yeah,
weird.
I don't know. But anyhow, it's one of those. You get one of those, you strip it down and do a whole lot of soldering. And it's pretty nice looking. Like I've seen this before with like a Raspberry Pi, like a Raspberry Pi Zero. But this is a good one, yeah.
And this would probably work better because there's no actual emulation, right? I mean, it's really just a 6502 mini.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, the palettes are going to be a little bit off. Like, the NES on the chip is not perfect. But it's pretty good. You know, it's good enough for most NES games. Like, they're demoing it with Super Mario 3, and it looks about right.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty neat. That would look very cool, you know, on a TV stand or something. Very good conversation piece at the very least.
Let's see. Someone has hacked up a Nintendo DS to make it as they call it, Game Boy Macro. I'm assuming this is based on the fact that you can play Game Boy Advance games in the DS. So if you just essentially moved the hardware around, so it was all because the games play on the top screen, but the cartridge goes into the bottom screen. So you'd have to to get just a self-contained Game Boy Advance that's larger, you'd have to hack it up.
Yeah, strange project, but it looks pretty nice. Looks like a Game & Watch.
It does, yeah. He must have painted it because I don't remember there being a DS in that color.
Yeah. And then another Hackaday article. An emulator that only plays one game. And that game is Pokemon something.
Yes. Yeah. Someone wrote an emulator just to play one game really well.
And it
Pokemon
only took
Blue.
582 lines of C++ code, which is pretty impressive. I mean, I assume that's impressive. I'm a programmer, but I've never created an emulator.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, if those 500 lines are all basically calling libraries that are thousands of lines, then it's not super impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Then you call that Node.js.
Right, exactly. It's the exact same thing.
It's NPM.
Look, I wrote a client-server app with one line of JavaScript. It's like, okay, right, but you're importing like a terabyte of Node.js code.
Yes.
That's completely ungoverned, and on multiple occasions, people have like snuck in horrible security issues on purpose, or just decided to change. What was it, pad left? Someone changed, and it broke like every project using Node.js simultaneously.
Yeah, and like Bitcoin mining and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Still got a few more here.
Yeah. What to do? Game Boy Advance game gets split screen multiplayer through new FPGA core. So this is cool. So this is an FPGA. I read this. This one I actually read. The idea is here is that on the Game Boy Advance, there's like a link cable, so you can play games like Mario Kart against each other. But here they modded it so, or they added support to the FPGA core where you can play that now on the same TV screen, split screen. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're playing Mario Kart on the GameCube instead.
Yeah, it looks really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, the Game Boy Advance just looks so good. It's something I never gave the time of day of before this podcast. I owned one, but I never really played it because I was going out so much and I had a PlayStation and all that stuff. Or, geez, at that point it would have been a GameCube, wouldn't it have? But yeah, man, that system just looks so great.
Yeah, see, I had the Game Boy Advance SP, the purple, like flip one, looks like a makeup kit, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it was at a time where I was traveling a little bit, so, I played through a lot of games on that, on airplanes.
Yeah, I believe it, yeah. Yeah, I was just looking for 3D stuff at the time,
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, I almost put this one in our list of stuff. Eventually we're going to have an episode of news items we decided not to talk about, and this almost got put in there today, but I thought it'd be kind of funny to talk about it.
Yeah, well, this would give me an idea for a prank. You know what I mean? Basically, someone found a Nintendo 64 cartridge in the park with no label, and it's been, for whatever reason, someone buried this Nintendo 64 cartridge in the park, and he's trying to figure out what game it is. Apparently, playing it was not his first thought. I guess asking Reddit, can you identify this cartridge, is how they're going about it.
I guess so.
I did not follow the comments to see if they ever actually tried to play it, which would again be the most logical way to determine what it is.
Yeah, let's scroll through here quickly. Let's see if there's any.
I went down about 300 comments and I didn't see it. So,
yeah, he said he was going to send it to his friend that can like dump ROMs and stuff like that, or something to that effect.
None of that is necessary. I mean, if you're worried about getting your Nintendo 64 dirty, you can just unscrew it, right? It's just a security bit. Take just the cart out, clean the cart as best you can. Just put the bare cart in the Nintendo 64. That would work.
Because water is not really going to affect it, because electricity wasn't going through it this whole time.
Yeah, it's not going to corrode like from one. I mean, if it's going to corrode, it already has. But ultimately, who cares? Like, you know how many unlabeled like 2,600 games I've found over the years?
Yeah. Yeah. And you didn't go to Reddit with it?
No, I plugged them in. They're like almost always Superman for whatever reason. Which is sad because there's like, in the 2,600 community, there's like one label variant of Superman that's worth like hundreds of dollars. Like,
that's strange.
It's the same game, but like the label is like more red.
That is strange.
Yeah, but it's apparently really collectible.
Not a great game.
Right. But when I find it with no label, it's even less collectible.
Kind of a strange...
Curious. Hey, so email at retrogameclub.net if you want to talk about unlabeled games you found.
Yes. Actually, there could be some good stories on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet someone found like a rare game that had no label.
Yeah, there's got to be.
And then the last one is, I didn't add this one to the notes, but this feels like a Millennials Discover Things We Already Knew article, which is, what is the origin of Link's name? Which I believe Shigeru Miyamoto has talked about many times.
Yeah, pretty much. There are two different answers he gives. One is, well, he links people together, so his name was Link. And the other one, he said that the Triforce parts were supposed to be electronic chips or electronic at some point, and parts were going to be in the future and the past, and Link links those together or links timelines together, something like that, but whatever. I mean, The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia exists. So it's in there. Yeah, so there you go. That is our news. And we have some Game Club, don't we?
Yeah.
Let's see. Mine's up there first. I'll just go first. So we're sticking with our kind of summer theme. And mine is Jaws. A very summery game because it's kind of a summery, fun movie. It is a 1987 game developed by Atlas, who also did Persona, well, a few Personas, and a game I never say out loud, so excuse me while I butcher it, Shin Megami Tensei. Did I say that correctly?
Sounds about right.
Okay. And so this game got horribly reviewed when it came out. And yeah, it's only on NES. It's a single-player game. And really what you do is you start out in a boat, and you quickly run into things on accident. And when that happens, you get put into that part is an overhead view. Then you get put into a side, not scrolling, but single screen view where you're a diver and you're shooting jellyfish and stuff like that. And I think it's stingrays are kind of the other main thing.
Stingrays, yeah.
Yep. And you collect shells and stars and then you get a few power-ups and a few other kind of tools. And after you do that, you're powerful enough to beat Jaws. And you shoot him with your, what is that weapon called? It's a...
harpoon?
Thank you. Yes, you shoot him with your harpoon. And that's about it. It got horribly reviewed. And I see some of the reasoning, but it's not a bad game. The game plays well. The game looks pretty good. There's just not too much to it. What I put in my notes after I played it was it looks like an NES game, but plays like a 2600 game, which is not a bad thing. Some 2600 games have great gameplay, and this one does. The speed run to this is like 3 minutes and 45 seconds or something like that. So if you know where to go, you could kind of just rip through this game. But I mean, back in the day, I didn't know that, this game took me a while to beat. And I never thought it was that bad. I never owned this one. I rented it. Not much more to say about it. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, I actually had a very, very similar observation. Like, this game on an earlier system would be really good. Like, this, I mean, like, mechanically, this would be in Intellivision or Atari 2600 game, no problem. Maybe the overworld part would be a little bit cruder, but just I'm swimming around shooting various sea creatures until Jaws appears, and then I'm shooting Jaws. Like, this isn't really that different than Shark,
yeah,
which was a full Intellivision game. So yeah, it's not really that bad. It's kind of funny. Like, the 3 people that worked on this, have pretty amazing resumes afterwards.
Yeah.
They worked on the Wonder Boy. They almost all worked on the Wonder Boy games, including the recent Dragon's Trap remake. And one of them was then a programmer on the Persona series.
Yeah, so not bad.
The Shin Megami Tensei games. I mean, like, it was a pretty good team, and they probably had tight time constraints. So you said this came out in 1987. So that's the same year that Jaws: The Revenge came out. So not a good year for the Jaws franchise, but they probably had a tough deadline because that movie had to come out the same time as Jaws: The Revenge, is my guess.
Oh, yeah. So I think, yeah, like you're getting at, people were a bit too critical on this game.
Yeah, well, it's really shallow for an NES game. Like, it's perfect. I think it's fun. There just isn't a lot of content compared to other NES games in 1987, right? I mean, Legend of Zelda was out, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very, very light.
I should mention there's cutscenes where you drop bombs from an airplane, right? Onto some fish or something.
It's like a bonus game. Yeah, it's like a bonus game. You're shooting jellyfish with bombs.
Yeah, and you could drop death charges or something onto Jaws before you fall into the water, which I thought was kind of a strange mechanic, because they don't do that much damage to him, or it doesn't seem like they do.
Yeah.
Very some strange parts, and it really does not lean into the Jaws music, but there's some of it there. But yeah, not much more to say about that one. How about your game?
Let's see. I went with an arcade game I really hadn't played much before. That was Pengo. So this is a very early Sega game, and you're a penguin, and there's you have some rivals that you are sliding ice blocks into. You can either break ice blocks or slide them, and the goal is just to clear all the enemies off the stage. It's pretty simple. What I thought was kind of neat about it is that at the end of the stage, it tells you how long it took to complete the stage, and you get bonus points based on how quickly you clear the stage, which I think was, again, I don't think it was the first game to do this, but it was definitely a very early example of a game that did this. And I didn't try any of the home versions. There's not a lot I know. Did you play Pengo at all?
Yeah, I did the arcade port, and there was a Game Gear port, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same game or not.
Okay, I did not try it.
Yeah, you know how they would do that? They would like take the title and then make it a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. But
there's a 2600 version that is definitely not that close. And I think there's a 5200 version that is close. And yeah, I don't know about the Game Gear one. I'm assuming it was. Oh, hold on. There was a sequel on the Mega Drive, and I can't find anything about the Game Gear version. So I'll look for that. I should have tried that because I probably have a ROM with that.
So how did you play this?
I played it on MAME.
Okay.
I just played it on MAME because I figured that the 2600 version didn't look very good.
Yeah, that's exactly where I went to, and for a 1982 game, wow, very good.
Yeah, I think graphically, I think it looks really nice. I think that style of game ages well. It never really looks dated. I mean, it looks old, but it doesn't look. It doesn't look like trying to play, a 1995 PlayStation game.
Yeah. I like that they have you could get extra points by putting the 3 blocks together. The 3, what are they, diamond blocks? I never really played this game just because it's like, if you have this game and like something like Galaga's next to it, like I'm gonna play Galaga. It just looks cooler.
Right. When you're a kid in 1982, this is probably not what you're gravitating towards.
yeah, but it was pretty fun. A moderate, literally what your notes say here is right on moderate difficulty. It's not impossible, but it takes a while to learn. And saying that, I did not get far at all. Yeah,
I don't know, I did about 3 or 4 stages, and then I said, I think I've experienced Pengo as much as I need to.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's fun. It's the kind of thing, like if I saw it at, Galloping Ghost, I'm sure Galloping Ghost has it. I for sure would play a couple stages, but I can't really, I can't envision playing it for hours on end.
Yeah. What do you think, when you want to play for the next episode?
Well, I was sticking with the arcade theme, summertime, going out to the arcade, hanging out in the arcade because maybe you don't have AC at home or something. It's summer break, you got nothing else to do. I was thinking doing Popeye, but I did try it first, and I said, oh man, that's right, Popeye is one of the worst games I've ever played.
It's not good.
Apologies to anyone that really likes Popeye, but I don't see it. So instead, I'm going to do Bad Dudes.
Nice.
I think I'm going to play it on the Wii. I have this Data East arcade collection that has Bad Dudes.
Nice. That's definitely a game you would play in the summer in the arcade for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going with a PlayStation classic, Spyro the Dragon. Never played it.
I have to see if I don't think I own this. Is it on the PlayStation Classic Mini?
I forget. I got this for the Switch. There is like a double or triple cartridge for it, or download. And the reason I picked, well, I'm not going to go the reason until we talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. If it's on like a sampler, I have like a weird obsession with sampler discs, and I must have 1,000 PlayStation sampler discs. So there's a chance I at least have one stage of it. Does not look like it is on the PlayStation Classic. So I'm going to have to look through my sampler discs. Otherwise, I'm just going to watch a speedrun.
Well, all right. If any of our listeners played Jaws or Pengo or Spyro the Dragon, Bad Dudes, any other retro game, has any cool retro projects like NES and a cartridge, if you're making ROM hacks, anything you're doing that's fun like that, we'd love to hear from you and interact with you. Email us at email@retrogameclub.net. That is email@retrogameclub.net. Hit us up on Facebook, facebook.retrogameclub.net, or on Twitter @RGC Podcast. And we also have our 100th episode coming up really soon. And that is our Ask Us Anything Within Reason episode. So please send in those questions. We have gotten a lot of them so far. It's really fun. And I'm really looking forward to that episode. We also have some giveaways, like Zach's giving away his PlayStation Classic mini thing. I'm giving away an AVS FPGA NES console, and I'm sure we'll find some other fun stuff. And to enter into that, all you have to do is email us Ask Us Anything question, and let us know if there's one of those prizes you already own or something that you might not want, just so we're not sending something that you're just going to throw away or something. But yeah, we got some emails this week.
Yeah, I was looking at our questions that have been sent so far. There are definitely some good ones, and a couple of really odd ones.
I like the odd ones.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'll get the email from Majors here. I probably should have read it ahead of time. No. Oh yeah, the Egret 2 Mini. So yeah, we were talking about the price being a little too high, and he says it's probably not aimed at casual buyers. Is his assumption, which I guess is mine too. Mm-hmm. He said if the spinner and trackball control panel is USB and works with a computer, then it might be worth it. Because you could use it for MAME or other systems, perhaps. Which is, I hadn't really thought about, just buying, using the accessories for it for something other than itself.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
And we talked. I guess we did an article called "Practical Retro Game Collecting in 2021." I didn't forget about it. I remember that article. And he actually really likes the tip of buying loose carts. Because it's just a much better deal. And some cartridges look really nice on the shelf.
Yeah. Boxes don't do anything but look nice sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Now, some carts, like Jaguar, they do not look nice on the shelf. Because I have a bunch of loose Jaguar and 32X games, and it's not easy to find the game you want to play. You apparently don't like FMV games?
I don't really remember that conversation, which he calls out me probably not remembering that conversation.
Yes. But he has a question for us. We could move this to the Ask Us Anything, but I'm going to do it now. Do we consider Laserdisc games to be FMV games?
I'm going to say no. I think they're better than FMV games.
Yeah, they're different for sure. I don't know. I would not call them the same genre because probably all Laserdisc games, except for Thayer's Quest, are action based, and most FMV games. Oh, but a lot of FMV games are shooters. It is kind of a blurry line.
But then, Laserdisc is also Halcyon and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's a Laserdisc game.
Is it? I don't know. Yeah. I actually don't know if that's a Laserdisc inside. Yeah, it's weird because I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I would call those.
It's definitely different though.
Well, they're different genres. See, here's the problem. I think you're trying to use the medium of a game to define the genre, and I don't think that's right. A Laserdisc, like Astron Belt and Dragon's Lair are not the same genre. But they're both Laserdisc games.
Yeah. But Dragon's Lair is not FMV to me.
Yeah, but you could have an FMV game that happened to be on Laserdisc.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the answer. That Laserdisc games are many different genres.
Yeah, they just tend...
Including like the oddball like Thayer's Quest, which is like an interactive fiction, kind of. It's a little bit trying to be like a King's Quest game, but it's really not. I don't think you've never played that, I assume.
No.
You might... Well, you like King's Quest, so you might like it. But the idea was like they're going to have a full, like kind of richly animated cartoon with some sort of like choose your own adventure, but maybe a little bit of puzzle solving mechanics. It's on PC. It was renamed Kingdom the Far Reaches.
It sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, so you can probably find, like, it was on 3DO too, because what else can you port a Laserdisc game?
Yeah.
But there's a PC port called, Kingdom the Far Reaches, which maybe you can get on archive.org or you can get for 3 cents on eBay. I don't know. I have no idea if that game's collectible.
Yeah,
I'm sure the 3DO version is, but the PC version probably is not. What else here? Oh, he talks about his digital. We actually got a decent amount of digital antenna feedback. It looks like even on social media. I didn't realize that was something people were passionate about. But yeah, he mentioned it mostly to watch, that he has one mostly to watch World Cup games, which I didn't realize were over the air in the US, but
nice.
I guess why not? And then he sent us a few pictures of some really cool looking computers, like the Sword M5, which I've heard of and I would not have been able to recognize though. And the MSX, the Sanyo Wavy 23, which looks like a keytar.
Yes, it looks really cool. But our listeners can't see any of those.
Yeah.
And what other social media questions do we have here? Yeah, Majors, thank you for that email.
A lot of I'm just skimming the social media feedback here. Some people like Pengo. Jaws is very polarizing. Some people hated it. Some people said it's just underrated. At least one person seemed to really, really dislike it, while someone else, it was like apparently a game they and their siblings really enjoyed.
And E3 announcements, pretty much no one cared for E3 this year.
Yeah, Metroid 5 is like the only thing. Is it called Metroid 5?
It's called Metroid Dread, but they also they referenced it as Metroid 5.
Okay.
But it's officially named Dread.
Okay. I'm on the fence about that one. I liked Metroid Samus Returns, but I don't know that I want another game that plays like it. So I have to see if this plays more like Super Metroid or more like Metroid Returns.
So they did say that it has the parry mechanic, but they also said that they've listened to feedback that a lot of people didn't like that mechanic, so they've really worked to refine it.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't come out for many months or a year. So I'm holding judgment where, like, right now I kind of feel like I just played that 3DS game and I don't need another one right now, but by the time it comes out, I might want one, you know?
Yeah. I assume the amiibos are already sold only to scalpers.
Probably, yeah.
I haven't checked. Because I don't know if I'm going to buy the game, so I haven't really looked to see if the amiibos are sold out. I assume they are.
And did we talk about Doki Doki Literature Club?
Yeah, I mentioned that was the next game I was going to play. I was waiting for it to come. They're doing a physical release on the Switch. And it's the kind of game it's definitely the kind of game I play on an airplane a lot. Like, I don't care if the person sitting next to me is like, what is this crazy person playing? But these like weird, Japanese interactive fiction games. Yes, someone posted on social media that it's a fairly short game, which is fine because I do mostly play these on airplanes. Like, I played Root Letter, which is maybe 8 hours total if you read slow, on a trip to the San Francisco, which is like 2 4-hour flights. Like, it's just perfect for that. So I was thinking I was going to play this game when it comes out in July. But, well, I mean, it's been out for a while when it comes out on Switch in July. But, if there's a chance I have to fly somewhere, maybe I'll save it for that. I don't think I'm taking any flights anytime soon, though.
Yeah. Well, all right. That is all of our feedback. If any of you, have played these games, Jaws, Pengo, Spyro the Dragon, or Bad Dudes, or any other games still, please email us. Email at retrogameclub.net. And I think that wraps it up.
Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.